Here are some quick tips on clocks and timers. Now, most computers have hardware clocks and timers that provide three basic functions. One, giving the current time. Two, giving the elapsed time. Three, setting a timer to trigger X operation at time T. Now, the hardware to measure elapsed time and trigger operations is known as a programmable timer. And this can be set to wait a certain amount of time and then generate an interrupt. It can be set to do this once, or it can repeat the process to generate periodic interrupts. Now, these functions are used heavily by the operating system and by time-sensitive applications. However, system calls that implement these interrupt calls, they're not standardized among all operating systems. So the system calls may vary depending on the operating system that's used. The operating system may also provide an interface for user processes to use timers, and it can support more timer requests than the number of timer hardware channels by stimulating virtual clocks. So you can have more timers virtually, more clocks virtually than you may have physically. Hardware clocks and timers are using triggers versus software that's using system calls. Now, a timer must ensure the operating system maintains control over the CPU. It can't allow a user program to get stuck in an infinite loop or fail to call system services, never returning control back to the operating system. Now, we can use the timer to prevent a user program from running too long by initializing a counter with the amount of time that a program is allowed to run. Um, in most computers, the hardware clock is made from a high frequency counter, and in some computers, the value of the counter can be read from the device register, and that would be considered a high resolution counter. Now, that's all for clocks and timers.